Are you worried that your job is replaced by AI or already being replaced? I know there's a lot happening, and this year alone, there are 140 K tech jobs has been replaced by AI, and companies have been laying off so much in the AI space as well. So I know this is really frightening for most people, but the shift is changing. The big players like Nvidia, Microsoft, Uber, they've also started saying that now the AI costs has been so much expensive than having the employees and humans, right? Which is really, I think that's really good news. This is Raj Mupala here, and I'm founder of two startups, Applaa and Omnia Social. I've been watching this space for the 20 years, and I've been looking at the AI applications for the best part of 6 years in my life. So let's look at what's happening with the AI, especially the advent of, the application with generative AI. So 23, 24, 25 years has been really about how AI can be used in applications and generative AI application, chatbots, and all these kind of things. Even the companies who didn't build AI infrastructure, they started to use these things and they started to build flashy demos and all the interesting things happening, which is good. Investors are pumping a lot of money, and also on the other side, it just like the hype is going crazily. And influencers like in YouTube and in Instagram and as well as LinkedIn, they just started publishing generative AI, all these fancy things, and then everything is carried away. But if you look at now, the shift is completely changing. So people have now started to see is it really true and what is happening. And they've invested heavily on tools like Cloud Code and many other tools which are actually are tokenizing, right? It's just expensive to run on a larger scale. They started to realize now, and especially if it's in 2026, it's all about AI economics. I've actually looked at some recent articles from MIT study as well, so which really talks about is really AI being that productive in everything. Let me share you with some examples as well, so at least you can see what's happening as well. So this is one of the thing I would suggest, have a look at as well. Think I've just looked at NVIDIA's recent example about what's happening. And they also talk about, the cost of compute is far beyond the cost of employees, which is really interesting to see. And, even they also themselves saying AI compute is not that cheap, right? As you could see, company of that size. And also I've seen also the Uber tell about the same as well, that Uber exhausted its entire 2026 artificial AI budget by within a couple of months, which obviously, as you can imagine, how much money they've been spending on using tools like Cloud Code and any other tools. And obviously, it just adds up, right? I think the bill is uncontrollable, it looks like. And also, recently, interesting thing also, as you can see from Microsoft, and also this is very interesting article I've seen that they've been using Cloud Code internally for the best part of, I don't know, maybe a year or so. And now the bill is becoming so huge. And now they're telling the employees that silently they're cutting off the internal cloud code on those kind of automation tools, as you could see. It's just massive, right? I think now that they're saying the company now writes up this much of code, but still they're just kind of spending millions and millions of money in that. So they're just taking that licensing out of as well for some of the employees as well, Cloud Code internal Cloud Code licenses across their divisions, right? So which is really massive thing for Microsoft. And now they're switching back to their GitHub Copilot and using their own model. So the shift is happening. It's just not these companies, but actually, as you can see, the AI economics has been really becoming more and more, relevant for companies now. And also, I've seen one interesting article also from MIT study as well. I think it really talks about how many really applications have been really can AI be replaced, and also AI can replace the jobs and as well as in automation. So obviously, it's not really happening in almost all the sectors, right? I think people are really talked about as well. As you can see, MIT is also backing up VP at NVIDIA's instance about what's happening about these initiatives. I think all in all, what I can say is that AI has been good. And the question is, yes, can AI do the job effectively? Yes. And now most things people are really asking about, can AI do this job productively and also more affordably and scalably, right? These are the kind of things people are really asking. The companies are really asking, can we use AI at scale? At what cost? The economics are really not being very efficient, looks like. I think this is where most companies are really seeing the trend of AI being very expensive, which is, I think, it's a good way. And now I think they're bringing back employees and actually bringing the productivity, having a good hybrid balance of using AI to where possible, and also having employees to look at the scalability, look at all the futures, which is a good thing. So being in the tech space for the best part of 20 years, my advice obviously for people is always be watchful about what is happening in the AI space, and be also cautious about what it's using, and especially in the areas of hallucination and tokenization is so vital, right? Because you may not able to get the output in the one go, right? So that's where companies are really spending a lot of money to fine tune, especially in the space of financial services and pharmaceutical, like more regulatory industries. How do you get a more predictive outcomes, with the models by nature or hallucinated? Like an example, they are not predictive in nature, right? By looking at exact output. So there are a lot of things happening, which is, I think, the good thing is the companies are now started to see the value of employees, and also having the hybrid nature of actually using AI where possible, and also having the employees back. So which is a really good thing. So if you're an IT a person working in IT, or just recently been seeing the shift, I'm very curious to hear your comments and see what's actually happening in your space, and interested to hear your comments as well. So thank you so much for watching. I just want to share this very interesting shift happening. So I think hopefully people at least can see some good things like happening as well. So with the current shift as well. So thank you so much for listening. Bye now.